stardom of Shahid Kapoor was never the agenda ever, because that's a reality.
Mausam is about Harry and Ayat, it's not about Shahid and Sonam.
I mean, I would be delighted to play what he has played in the film, though my age won't allow me that.
प्रीतम बहुत भुलक्कड़ टाइप का है, you know, भूल जाता है. Oh sir, I'm so sorry, I forgot to get the guitar. Can I get it back? ओ यार, मेरे को पता होता तो मैं बॉलीवुड हंगामा पे ट्रेड एनालिस्ट नहीं बन जाता.
It was difficult, but it was pleasurable.
इस ज़मीं और इस आसमां से परे जहां न वक्त न तुम्हारे मेरे सिवा कोई और.
Mausam, one of the most eagerly awaited films of the year, has been creating quite a buzz with its promos and songs. Let's meet the first-time director Pankaj Kapur and the very talented Shahid Kapoor in this very exclusive Bollywood Hungama interview and get to know more about Mausam.
I'd like everybody to understand that Mausam primarily is a love story. And here, when we talk about Mausam, we don't talk about June, July, August, September, November, December. We talk about Mausam, which means seasons of love, which means various, जैसे ज़िंदगी में बहुत से different kinds of times come in your lives. That's when you live through those times. And that's where I look at Mausam as two people's journey of love in different times, which forms different seasons of my film.
Well, it all started obviously with when Dad narrated the script to me, and I understood that this is going to be a character which grows over 10 years. So it's not just about one portion or getting the characterization right or certain nuances or certain behavior right or getting his background and his clothes right. It's about getting an entire graph of 10 years right, which is quite challenging. And also whatever little you must have seen of the promos, whatever little we're revealing in the promos right now, there's a lot more in the film. I think you'll understand that it starts with a very rural background and a small young lad inside a small little village in Punjab, but then it grows into him becoming an Air Force officer and then much more. So there is a big transition and a big change in the kind of life that he lives, in the kind of background that he has had to where he goes and what happens with him. And that's just the journey of at a very physical level, you're seeing that journey. There's also an emotional journey. There's also many incidents which happen in the film which change the character. So I understood that there needs to be a graph which needs to be made, and very largely I think I borrowed from Dad when the portions of Punjab were being shot, especially because Dad is born and brought up in Punjab, and his understanding of Punjab is probably far better than what I can understand. So I lent on him for that. As far as the Air Force portions are concerned, we were very clear that we wanted to be as authentic as possible. Therefore, we met with people from the Indian Air Force. I visited a few bases. I interacted with a lot of pilots. I actually flew an F-16. So tried to do everything that was possible to do to understand the character. And beyond that, I think it was a process of a year and a half of doing the film, doing readings, talking to Dad about it at length, because obviously it's a script written by him as well. You know, he's written the dialogues, the screenplay, the story, and he's directing it. So it's completely his vision. So to try and understand and kind of find my place in that vision of his, so to say.
You see, I would be very honest with you that stardom of Shahid Kapoor was never the agenda ever. Because that's a reality. I didn't have to particularly look into that. For me, it was a matter of writing a script for my son. And for my son means for a youngster. It went to the point of, I'd like you to write a film for me. I'd like you to direct a film for me. I said, son, I would love to do a film for you. And then the thinking process started as to what kind of film should be made for a youngster like him. So I thought love story would be a great idea, but we didn't want to make though all the directors and writers would say the same thing, a regular love story. But from my point of view, if you're talking about my experience, my background, the kind of work I've done, coming from there, obviously the attempt here that I've always had, even as an actor, is to do work which provides entertainment. Now, I personally feel that entertainment sometimes is a very misinterpreted word. Entertainment means, to me, where audience gets enriched and engrossed in what they're seeing.
He just said, I have a thought and let me develop it. And with that, usually what happens is once he starts writing, he kind of finishes the film. That's just how he writes. Because he's been writing since before, so I know sometimes he's written a script in 20 days, 15 days, you know. So once he starts writing, because he thinks about it for really long, like I think for a couple of years, every opportunity he got, he must have been like, it must have been, you know, going around in his mind. And then when he starts writing, then it kind of happens quite fast. So he wrote the entire script and then he kind of narrated it to me. So when he narrated the script to me, we kind of realized, and he also told me, I remember he had this smile on his face and he said, "Ye likh to diya hai maine, but this is not going to be an easy one to make because it's just turned out like that. You know, you can't control creativity, you can't." So he just wrote a script that he felt would be right for me, that he felt would be right for him, obviously to begin with. And he said, "Yeah, we can't make this film like just another film. It requires to be made a certain way, and it will require a certain amount of time from him as a director and a certain amount of time from me as an actor." I mean, that's the kind of subject that it became. It was never a planned move. It was, I mean, he's laughing because I think he regrets it.
No, it was actually not planned. It was never planned like that, but it's just that when I started conceiving it, when I started thinking about it, when I was making my notes, etc., and the whole journey of this film started, he's right that I didn't set out to write what I eventually wrote, but when I wrote and I finished writing it, both he and I realized, this is not a simple film to make, and it's not an easy film to make, and it's not an easy film to act in. Playing a part which has such a large range, which is quite challenging for any actor to play. I mean, I would be delighted to play what he has played in the film, though my age won't allow me that. But still, I'm saying as an actor, if I was offered a part that Shahid was offered in this film, I think I would immediately jump at it and say, this is the part that I want to play. And I'm sure the audiences, once they see the film, they'd realize or see another dimension of Shahid Kapoor as an actor. I'm quite confident about that.
Without doubt, there was a lot of nervousness and there was this feeling that I hope that I can match up to what is required from me. And of course, there was this excitement also of getting to learn from, in my understanding, the best actor we have in the country, to spend a year with him and learn from him. And also to do a film as a son with my father. So there was an excitement regarding that. It's, you know, not every father and son get this opportunity. And I think I've considered myself very fortunate that we were able to do this together. So yes, there was a lot of mixed emotions, but when on set, he is the director and I'm an actor, and that's how we have to be, and that's the roles that we played. And for a year and a half, I think probably it's been the most memorable film of my career. I can definitely say that, and it's been a memorable year and a half for the entire family actually. Absolutely. Beautiful year and a half, very difficult year and a half, extremely challenging and trying, but definitely I would, if I was to look back and somebody was to ask me if I would do Mausam again, if I could relive the year and a half, I'd say without doubt again that I would.
It's not as if I mean, it's a part of the film, it's a part of the story, it's a part of his character, it's a part of the journey, which is why we say 4 seasons. Those 4 seasons are 4 seasons of love, and there are 4 stages of love with 4 different backdrops, so that it provides a certain range, the backdrop of the film to our audiences. And at the same time, we have also looked into the fact that every person in the audience should be able to relate to it, because there will be certain parts which will be very easily relatable for a common man when they're watching the film. I think the very basic thing that the idea of casting her came from the fact that she has a very innocent face, and which I thought was absolutely right for the part, because the kind of role that she's supposed to play is as big and as complex as the character that he's playing in the film. So I needed somebody to start with from a very innocent face, and somebody who can carry the film along with Shahid on her shoulders, because it's a love story, so it means two characters. So at the point I wrote the script, I felt she would be the right person to cast for this role. As far as working is concerned, frankly, I think it was almost like a family atmosphere. I mean, because my entire family was involved, and she's a friend's daughter, so it was like coming home for her, I would say. That so it was all together. But Shahid would also say that I like having things done the way they should be, or they are required to be, not from any other point of view. So therefore, those pressures were put on actors, be it Shahid, be it Sonam, be it Supriya, my own wife, or be it the other actors, say Anupam or Manoj Pava, or any of the other actors. So whatever was required, so one was working towards getting that. And I think my actors and my entire team, for that matter, have supported me greatly. At the end of the day, when I look back, I think it's been a tough, but at the same time, a satisfying journey.
I think that comes from the fact that they are probably seeing what the two characters are supposed to be feeling for each other, or the relationship between Harinder Singh, that is Harry, and Ayat, seems to be coming across in different small doses, which right now the people are seeing it in. And I'm so happy that people are liking Harry and Ayat. Mausam is about Harry and Ayat. It's not about Shahid and Sonam. The whole idea of doing this film was to create a world and to create characters which find their own truth. They need to become real people. And like Dad said, Sonam felt like the perfect choice because she had the right face. She had a certain innocence that especially the Punjab portion, the beginning portion of the film requires. There are shots of her going to school, with books in her hand and things like that. So yes, she's a huge part of the film, and like Dad said, the film is as much Sonam's as it is mine, as it is anybody else's. It is the entire product that is larger than any individual. I think Pritam is somebody who's phenomenally talented, and I really think he's magical when it comes to love stories. Whatever work that I have done with him, he has always given songs which become the soul of a film. And we knew right in the beginning, Dad was, in fact, that was a big decision for Dad because he's never worked with Pritam, and he always kept telling me, he said, the music of this film is so important to the film because we're making a love story, and the world of Mausam will be understood by the people for the first time when they hear the music of the film.
कोई दिल बेकाबू कर गया और इश्क दिल में भर गया आंखों में वो लाखों गल्ला कर गया और अब मैं तो मर गया
I'm so happy that Pritam and Dad, I think, found a great relationship. I remember the first time I came for a sitting and I was a little nervous कि कैसा होगा because Pritam बहुत भुलक्कड़ टाइप का है, भूल जाता है, कभी गिटार लाना ही भूल जाता है, आता है वो म्यूजिक रिकॉर्डिंग पे, oh sir, I'm so sorry, I forgot to get the guitar, can I get it back? वो ऐसा टाइप का है थोड़ा सा, वो कुछ गा देता है फिर भूल जाता है क्या गाया था, तो उसके साथ 3-4 लोग रिकॉर्डिंग मशीन लेके घूमते रहते हैं कि इससे पहले भूल जाए हम रिकॉर्ड कर लेते हैं. So I knew that about Pritam. Dad was having his first experience.
No, it was my first experience.
And I had prepared Dad before. I said, Dad, ये ऐसे आएगा, थोड़ा इसके लंबे बाल वाल हैं घुंघराले से और ये भुलक्कड़ टाइप का है, लेकिन ये बहुत अच्छी. Dad said, नहीं, I think he's very, very good. But I think right in the beginning, they found such a good equation with each other. The kind of conversations that they used to have when Dad narrated the script to Pritam, when they started chatting, that I was just so happy to see that relationship between them, that I was very confident right in the beginning that we'll have some very original and interesting music.
आंखों में वो लाखों गल्ला कर गया और अब मैं तो मर गया शदाई मुझे कर गया और अब मैं तो मर गया शदाई मुझे कर गया
And obviously Irshad Kamil, who's written the lyrics of the film, has actually, he started working with Dad many years back. I remember when I used to be assisting Dad on and off, he used to be writing dialogues for Dad for a television serial that Dad used to do. So he knows Irshad for many years. So for Irshad, in a way, it's like coming back home. He started his career with Dad. So yes, yes, I think it took these three people together and their interactions, the script that Mausam is, what it stands for, the moments that it stands for. I think those moments and that feel of Mausam is what gave Preetham and Irshad the space to come up with something which is very different and new, I think, and very exciting. So I am very happy. Yes, it is a huge part of any love story that the music should be liked.
I have great regard both for Preetham and Irshad for two reasons. One, because I pushed them really hard, fact. But they provided me with such a variety for me as a director to choose from, for which I say hats off to them, because for somebody other than me and Shahid to put in that kind of work in their department, I think is very, very credible. And they came up with some fantastic work. And eventually what has gone out is just a matter of selection. But probably whatever they were coming up with was anyway very good. This probably is the best that has been chosen out of. So my job as a director was just to choose and to push these people to provide what they provided. But what is provided is completely and exclusively belongs to Preetham and Irshad.
और यार मेरे को पता होता तो मैं बॉलीवुड हंगामा पे ट्रेड एनालिस्ट नहीं बन जाता.
See, we have tried to make a film that we believe in, which we feel is entertaining, which provides whatever is required to be given to our audiences, what they're looking forward to, what our beliefs are, with the level of entertainment that we believe in. All that put together, we have made this film.